The fireflies blinked on and off, like malevolent winks in the gathering darkness. The river gurgled a low, unsettling tune, a stark contrast to the frantic drumbeat of my heart. I hadn't meant to wander so far downstream. What started as a casual fishing trip by the familiar park had morphed into an unwelcome exploration of the dense woods that bordered it. Earlier, I'd stumbled upon a sight that sent chills down my spine. A ramshackle hut built from scavenged wood and overflowing with empty bottles. A tiny plastic Spider-Man fishing rod with a chipped handle lay discarded by the entrance. Then, a glint of metal caught my eye. A hatchet, its blade dull but undeniably menacing. My gut lurched, and I moved on quickly. Now, regret gnawed at me like a hungry fish. My meager catch lay forgotten at my previous spot, sacrificed for the sake of getting out of this darkening maze. My trusty fishing pole was propped against a tree, useless against whatever might be lurking in the shadows. Then, a flicker of movement in the corner of my eye. I froze, the silence suddenly amplifying every rustle of leaves and snap of a twig. There, a hulking figure emerged from the gloom, shrouded in a tattered black coat. A straggly grey beard framed a face obscured by darkness, but the glint in his hand was unmistakable. The hatchet. Panic clawed at my throat. It was the man from the camp, the one guarding that makeshift hut with a weapon. My heart hammered a frantic rhythm against my ribs. My tackle box lay a few feet away, useless. Its only contents, lures, hooks, and a tiny folding knife, a ridiculous match against the gleaming blade. Fighting him was a suicidal thought. In a desperate bid for escape, I scrambled towards the tackle box, heart pounding, a frantic tattoo in my ears. He lumbered closer, a slow, deliberate walk that felt like an eternity. I shoved everything back in, slammed the lid shut, and bolted. The woods became a tangled blur of undergrowth and shadows. The sound of my own ragged breaths filled my ears, punctuated by the snapping of twigs under my feet. Behind me, a guttural roar ripped through the night, a sound that sent shivers down my spine and fueled my desperate flight. I didn't look back. I didn't dare. The park lights, once a distant beacon, now offered a promise of safety. I burst out of the woods, chest heaving, lungs burning. The familiar sight of the playground, bathed in the soft glow of the streetlights, felt like a dream. That night, huddled under a mountain of blankets, the memory of the hulking figure and the glint of the hatchet played on repeat in my mind. One thing was certain: the park, once a haven of childhood memories, was now a forbidden zone. The river, once a source of quiet joy, now whispered of chilling encounters and shadowed figures. The woods, once a place of exploration, held a darkness I dared not face again. The inky blackness of the pre-dawn hour pressed down on me like a physical weight. 3 o'clock in the morning wasn't exactly prime fishing time, but the catfish in Grimwater Creek were known to be most active just before sunrise. My loyal mutt, Luna, a goofy German shepherd with a heart of gold, or perhaps a complete lack of fear, trotted beside me, tail wagging excitedly. We reached the spot, a narrow stretch of water choked by the skeletal form of an old abandoned bridge. Local lore whispered of 2 souls who'd found their tragic ends here, their final moments echoing in the groaning iron beams. Just beyond the bridge lay the town's forgotten cemetery, a silent city of weathered headstones marking the final resting place of long-dead gold rushers. It wasn't exactly the most cheerful fishing location, but desperation for a good catch had trumped any lingering apprehension. The silence was broken only by the gentle gurgle of the water and the rhythmic plop of Luna's clumsy paws as she explored the muddy bank. My line snagged on a submerged rock, and I knelt by the water's edge to untangle it. Suddenly, a sound pierced the stillness, a rhythmic crunch of footsteps approaching on the gravel path beyond the bridge. My blood ran cold. Luna, usually a hurricane of enthusiasm, whimpered and tucked herself between my legs. her warm fur sending shivers down my spine. This wasn't a deer or a raccoon. These were deliberate, measured steps, the cadence of a human walk. Panic clawed at my throat. The new moon offered no solace, its absence plunging the world into an inky blackness. I strained my eyes, peering into the void, but saw nothing. Whatever it was, it remained hidden in the shadows. The crunching steps continued, getting closer, each one sending fresh jolts of fear through me. Luna whimpered again, a low, mournful sound that mirrored my own terror. She was the bravest dog I knew, a fearless hunter who chased squirrels with reckless abandon. Her fear now was a chilling testament to the unseen entity stalking us. My instincts screamed at me to run. I fumbled with my tackle box, shoving lures and bait back in a frantic rush. Leaving my fishing gear behind, I grabbed Luna's leash, my hand shaking violently. There was no time to waste. Instead of turning back, I took a chance. Maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't follow me across the bridge, a place heavy with the energy of despair. Without a backward glance, I started walking backwards, my eyes fixed on the unseen thing lurking in the darkness. Luna whined softly, but followed close, her body pressed against mine. The steps continued, mirroring my retreat. Each agonizing second felt like an eternity. Finally, I reached the solid ground beyond the bridge, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I didn't stop until I reached the safety of my truck, parked a good distance away. With trembling hands, I fumbled for the keys, the truck's interior a beacon of warmth and security. As I peeled away from the creek, I didn't dare look back. Whether it was a spectral wanderer, a disturbed trespasser, or something far more sinister, I never found out. Grimwater Creek and the bridge remained a chilling memory, a reminder of the night my fearless dog whimpered in terror and the unseen footsteps that stalked us in the darkness.